Hello and welcome to the gameplay portion of my look at the Kofu deck. This one's been a bit of a nightmare to put together because the game had maintenance and then everything was broken and then I couldn't get any good games and then there was a ladder reset. So I've managed to find two games that kind of show what the deck does. So let's jump into game number one. So for our first game, we are against a Flareon Jolteon EV-based deck, which a lot of people are playing online at the minute in the lower ranks. It's an okay deck. I don't think it's a super competitive deck, but it does do big damage when it actually pulls the pieces together. But a lot of the time, you do find that it kind of gets stuck. And we end up opening with just a single Crabrawler, which is not a fantastic start, but we do have Secret Box. So when we finally get through the setup, we have like an interesting turn ahead of us because we do need 3 discards for the Secret Box, and the way we do it will impact what we have available in the future, basically. And we are being made to go second here, but that we have absolutely no way of attacking on turn 1 short of a miracle turn. We would need to discard at least 3 Kofus and then attach an energy to a Veluza, and then we could knock out the Rotom. The main point of this deck is never really to attack early, so we don't mind not being able to attack. If you were playing like a version with pre-rotation cards, which I'm not doing for this current deck, you'd maybe run a Rotom because you really don't have attacks, or a Cleffa would do the similar thing. So we bench the Crabrawler and we nest ball for a Veluza, and then we're going to Secret Box, and it's an interesting choice what we're going to discard. They're all useful resources later in the game. I end up choosing to get rid of the Super Rod and the Kieran along with the Pokemon Catcher. I did think about getting rid of the switch, but we do need to switch this Veluza into the active, and because we're searching for a tool card with the Secret Box, we can actually do the cool TM Evolution with no energy play, because we will be getting rid of a Kofu. We're going to grab a Kofu, we're going to grab a TM Evolution, we're going to grab a Stadium, and we're going to grab an Ultra Pokegear. Yeah, and then we're just going to play the Kofu. So I want to play the Pokegear, I want to play the Artisan here, but we do need to put 2 things back into the deck with Kofu, so we have to get rid of them. We draw some more cards, we bench some more things, it's pretty standard setup turn. And then we switch the Veluza into the active, and because we've used a Kofu now, we can attach our energy to Crabrawler and then go for TM Evolution for free. We evolved the 2 Crabrawlers. There is a argument to evolving a Dunsparce here, but I think having the Dunsparce sat on your bench for a turn makes it more of a target for your opponent, and the Crabrawlers are a little harder to kill. So we pass over to the opponent. They managed to get the Flareon and Jolteon online. They have energy already on the board, so we're looking like they're going to get an attack off here. Flareon can kill Veluza while also accelerating energy, whereas Jolteon needs to discard energy to kill the Veluza. I think it's 60 base damage on the Jolteon, so even with weakness it wouldn't be doing enough to kill the Veluza. He does go for the Sparkling Crystal and the Crispin here, which means he has access to all the attacks he wants. He can even use the Carnelian and I think it's Dravite, the 280 damage attacks on both of the evolutions. Obviously he's going to grab a Fire and Electric, you'd assume. Yep. And he actually puts the energy on the Jolteon here, which I found a bit strange because by attacking with the Jolteon is potentially letting us kill the Jolteon, meaning that he's left with a Flareon with like 1 energy on it, which is a little awkward. However, the Jolteon does survive a hit from Crabominable, so that may have been what he was thinking here. We can do 250 damage. The Jolteon has 260 health, I believe. Yeah, 260. So he goes for the Sparkling Crystal early as well. And here comes the Spear. So this is what I was talking about. He does have to discard an energy from his Flareon to even be able to kill the Veluza, which is why I would have gone for the Flareon. We promote We promote the Dunsparce and then go for a Professor's Research to ditch another Kofu. We draw into another one, but we have no way of actually discarding it right now. We can go for the Artisan to get the other Dunsparce out, or we can do the Nest Ball. He's already got a full bench, so Artisan here doesn't make a huge difference. We are able to Pokegear into the 4th Kofu, so all we need now is an Ultra Ball, and the entire deck is online. And I do attach the Defiance Band here early. This does let us one-shot Jolteon while we're behind. There's an argument to doing this, there's an argument to not doing it. I chose to do it so that we don't lose it to an Iono or something like that, but by putting the Choice Belt on early, we are giving them a priority target. So they can gust up the Abominable with the energy and the Defiance Band on. Defiance Band. We have a pretty good hand. Worst case scenario, we will just play the 3rd Kofu and shuffle 2 things back to the bottom, draw 4 cards, and as long as we find any energy, we're able to attack with the Crabominable that already has an energy on it. We'll only need 2 energy on one of them. We draw into a reversal energy. Any of the Crabominables, any of the crabs can attack with a reversal energy, but in an ideal world we'll draw an Ultra Ball and be able to just discard the 2 Kofus, grab a Dunsparce and start drawing more cards. He does go for the boss's orders here, which, you know, it's with hindsight, holding the Defiance Band would have been better, but we can't always know what they're going to do. If we'd have held the Defiance Band, they may have used the Noctowl to search for an Iono and shuffled it away. We have no tool search, so I'm more in the camp of just put it down when you've got it. It also keeps one of our other Pokemon alive. We do have 2 crabs on the bench. It's not a huge loss. We promote the Dunsparce again. And there's our Ultra Ball. I couldn't believe it when I drew that. So that's all 4 Kofus gone. Veluza is now attacking for free. We only have 1 Dunsparce, so 1 is prized. We'll do our runaway draw. We're hoping to draw Reversal Energy is great. We were hoping to draw probably Water Energies more than anything. But realistically, we're probably going to make a attack with Veluza at some point. Because we need the extra 10 damage on this Jolteon. But we are currently behind, and we might not be behind again in the game. So because we drew the Reversal Energy, we attach it to the Crabominable and attack with that, now leaving the Jolteon on 10 HP. This is a little risky, because they are playing like the Noctowl Terra package. It's not unreasonable that they have a copy of Professor Turo's scenario that they can search out of the deck. So they could scoop up this Jolteon that survives on 10 HP. But if we attack with the Veluza first, we're opening ourselves up to more boss plays to kill our crabs before they attack. And we're also vulnerable to them not being behind when we need them to be for the reversal energy to work. He did use Dravite last turn though, so he isn't able to attack here with the Jolteon. And the crab lives a turn, and we have the same problem. We're not able to attack. We have Professor's Research though, so we are literally just going to throw the hand away, draw as many cards as we can, and hopefully find a switching card to go into our Veluza and take the knockout on this Rotom. And we draw a Pokemon Catcher. So we may as well spin it, because if we can get something in that we can get 2 prizes for, it's amazing. It flips tails. And we didn't importantly draw any switching cards. So we are also unable to attack this turn, which is kind of brutal, but it is what it is. So we end up using the reversal energy as 3 energy for our retreat cost, and we go into the Veluza anyway and take the knockout on the Rotom. It does suck to get rid of a reversal energy for retreat, but there is another one in the prizes. So now he promotes the Mew. Now he can attack with the Flareon and the Jolteon. And he does attach to the Flareon, which, you know, signals he's probably going to attack with it. He does need to go into this Flareon at some point. He needs the energy acceleration, because Jolteon alone cannot kill any of our main Pokemon without the discard effect on the first attack, and he can only use the second attack every other turn. So he is going to need to take a kill with this Flareon. And because he chooses to now, we're going to be able to promote our Crabominable Crab. We're going to be able to promote our Crab and hit it for weakness for 500. And that equalizes the game. We have turned what was a very slow start into a very stable situation. We promote the one without energy on and use the reversal energy, because this is probably the last time in the game we're going to get the chance to use it. We can Ultra Ball to thin the deck out even more, go into the Dunsparce, do the runaway draw, and really we're looking for Super Rod here. We do find it, and this lets us shuffle back in our Veluzas, which are turning out to be very important cards in this matchup. And this is why I said in the deck profile, Veluza's a bit weird because a lot of the time it's not useful at all, but sometimes it's really useful. So having the Black Belt's training and the Kieran in hand means we are able to one-shot a Jolteon now as well, because we are only 10 damage shot. We hit the Flareon for weakness and take 2 prizes. And he's charged up this Mew, which I thought he was going to attack with at some point. Haymaker me. But he ends up not choosing to this turn. He retreats. I don't know why he attached the extra energy to the Jolteon, to be honest. But he retreats into the damaged Jolteon and takes the knockout on the Crabominable. Which means we're then going to be able to kill it with Veluza if we can find it. We have got quite a good hand right now. We don't want to do a Professor's Research, and we're also quite low on deck as well. So we are going to need this runaway draw to be quite big. We really do not want to use our Haymaker here to kill this 10 HP Jolteon. We want to save that for the final knockout. So ideally we are going to runaway draw into a Veluza. We have the switch in hand already. We use that to finish off this Jolteon. And then no matter what he promotes, we have the game in hand because we have the Kieran and the Black Belt's training. However, he's not done it yet. However, he does hit us in a minute. We'll get there. There we go. So he hits us with the Dravite to deal 280 damage, knock out the crab, and we have a little bit of an awkward turn here. We're going to evolve up our Dunsparce. And we go for the Poke Gear first, just to try and thin the deck out a bit more. We have a very good chance of hitting what we need here, because there's still Ultra Balls in the deck as well. And we didn't hit the Veluza, so we will Ultra Ball away the Professor's Research, which we don't need anymore. And the second Dunsparce, because we only have enough cards to really make use of one at this point. Switch into the Veluza, who attacks for free now, and finish off the Jolteon. And now we have put him in a situation where we have a really good chance of winning next turn. He obviously doesn't know whether or not we have gusting effects, but he could promote something big in the hopes that we can't kill it. Like if he can gust the Crabominable and kill it, and then here's the Brutal Iono. I thought it was last time he did this. This Iono was rough because we are really, really close to winning because we have the damage boosts in hand and he's just got rid of them. Yeah, if he's able to find a way to kill the crab this turn, it'll leave us with just the Veluza that can only do 110. We would need a gusting effect to take out one of these Noctowls or the Eevee on the bench, because Veluza is never killing Mew or Jolteon. And it's a weird turn for him to bring in this Mew as well, because he can't even kill our Veluza with it, because Veluza only deals 110 damage. So he does end up going for the genome hacking. And because we've been Iono'd down to one card and we drew a water energy, there's also nothing we can do. We will bench the Dunsparce, because if we draw the Dunsparce next turn, we can run away draw and hopefully draw into a switch or something like that. So we hit him back with the 110 damage from Veluza. He still has no energy on board, so realistically his only viable attacker right now is the Mew, but he picks it up and gets the energy discarded. So this was kind of like a weird ending, but I guess he just ran out of options. And he promotes the Noctowl, which we can just kill next turn, so we don't even need to find anything in particular. I guess he wanted to use Restart again, maybe looking for some kind of option. But he didn't find it, so we're able to take the win. And that was a relatively controlled game. We didn't get too far behind. We had quite clear strategies each turn. On to game 2, and we do have a bit more of a normal matchup. We're against a Charizard deck. This is kind of a difficult one for us because of the 330 HP. Our max damage is with a Defiance Band and a Black Belt's Training, who give us plus 70. So we can deal 320 damage, but Charizard has 330 HP. So the only possible way for us to one-shot a Charizard is with Gravity Mountain and all the other pieces that we need. We open a Veluza. This is kind of my ideal start, personally. And we do get to go first, but we have really not got a lot going on. It's looking kind of bad for us at the start of the game. We do Poke Gear into a Kofu, into a Morty's Conviction, which we can use to discard the Kofu next turn. So we're kind of hoping for him to fill up his bench here, so that we can Morty's Conviction for max value. This is also quite a good hand. We don't necessarily want to use Professor's Research, but we might be forced to, because the Reversal Energies and the Choice Belt and the Pokemon Catcher are all things that when they're gone, they're gone. We do have 4 catchers, but the other 2 are much more valuable things for us to keep hold of. Choice Belt probably won't come up in this kind of matchup, but it could be the difference for like a Veluza attacking into a Luminion with 170 HP. If we have the Choice Belt and the Kieran, we can actually kill it with a Veluza. So it's not completely useless in this matchup, but it's much more relevant against things like Regidrago, Lugia, who will have the V-Stars with 280 HP. Unfortunately for us, he does only bench 2 Pokemon, so we are left with a difficult choice. Do we throw away all this good stuff, or do we Morty's Conviction and draw 2 cards and hope for the best? And as I think you'll see, I do think about this a long time because this is a tough choice. If we go for the Morty and we don't draw anything, and he goes into a Charizard next turn, we just lose the game on the spot. So in the end, I do go for the Professor's Research. It's just too risky for us to stay on one Pokemon. We need to find things. And we do find a Nest Ball, so we are able to grab a Crab. And then we can Ultra Ball if we want to get another basic down. I choose not to, which again is quite risky. We have no guaranteed draw next turn, and we have no access to our deck really outside of this Ultra Ball. But we do have the Reversal Energy, and we have already got rid of 1 Kofu. So all we would need to do next turn is Ultra Ball into Crabominable, the Crab, and we can actually attack because the Water Energy is already there. Reversal Energy will be another 3 energy. So we would have an attack online. It would not be enough to kill the Charizard, but it's not the worst thing in the world. He Ultra Balls for the Rotom, which implies he does not have what he needs in hand right now. So he just ends up going for the Instant Charge, which is amazing for us. We are very happy to just sit and have a slow game. We draw another Research here. We are probably going to use it, so it's a question of like, what do we want to get rid of here? So we end up getting rid of the other Reversal Energy, which takes away any chance of us having early attacks. We grab the Crabominable, and then we go for the Research. And we find another Kofu, we find our Gravity Mountain, we find our Super Rod. These are all very good tools, because we've already got rid of our Dunsparce as well. We may need to Super Rod that and some energies back later in the game. But for now, we just evolve, continue going through our deck, and then pass back over to him. And off the Instant Charge, he does have the Arven, which guarantees him at least a Charizard this turn, because he can also get the Forest Seal Stone. So Veluza is finally going to go down. Not really the end of the world. If we promote the Crabominable here, we would need to find the final 2 Kofus next turn and discard them. So we're asking a lot of ourselves to actually get an attack off next turn. And we don't have any like Nest Balls or Ultra Balls or Artisan or anything like that. So this is looking kind of dire for us. So here comes the Burning Darkness to kill our Veluza. And we'll promote the Crab. Both Crabs. We'll promote I hate these words so much. We'll promote the Crabrawler because we can afford to lose one. We have the Super Rod in hand. We can switch into the Dunsparce for a free pivot. We can Super Rod back in our valuable things, and then we can throw away the hand. So the Dunsparce was a great top deck. And we do draw the Secret Box, which is amazing, and we draw a Kofu to discard with it. So we can actually guarantee all the Kofus this turn. We just need to Ultra Ball for another discard. And we just need some things to discard. We do have a quick check of the deck here to make sure I'm not doing something stupid. We probably are not going to play the Artisan because we already have the Gravity Mountain. The Gravity Mountain is so valuable in this matchup. So Artisan's a good discard here. We can get rid of Kofu and Artisan. We have the Dunsparce available as well to draw a bit more. We can evolve our second Crab. And then we can Nest Ball or Nest Ball for another Dunsparce or a Veluza. In one turn, we've kind of gone from quite a bad situation to quite a good one. All of our attackers are now ready to go. We can put the 110 on this Charizard, let another Veluza go down, then bring in the Craborola next turn to finish it off. We have Pokemon Catcher available, so if there's ever Pidgeot on the field with the Defiance Band, we can one-shot that. We can go after the lower health V2 prize targets that are on the bench. We have a very clear route to victory now. So he benches the Lumineon. I believe he got the Arven off of it. And then he'll just carry on building his board here. And we are essentially waiting to see if he can respond to anything. Like, we went in a single turn from what looked like a terrible situation for us to being in complete control of the game. We are not worried at all. Even if Gravity Mountain gets bumped, we still kill the Charizard next turn. And he's only taken one prize during this early setup phase, which is incredibly good for us. We are only giving up one prize to him each turn, and we have a very high chance of taking 2 prizes each turn. So even if we end up missing an attack, it's taken him so long to get set up and start killing things that we're in a really, really good spot for the rest of the game. Another Pokemon Catcher is what it is. We'll go for the Dunsparce, we'll do the Runaway Draw. Ideally we want a way to bench another Dunsparce. And then we'll go for the Pokegear. Finds us a Research. We don't really want to get rid of these resources, so we'll just Morty the Research away to draw 5. And again, we are just looking for Dunsparce here. Being able to keep this draw engine going is super good for us. We don't find it. We do find a Veluza. And I choose to go for the Pokemon Catchers here. If we can kill the Pidgeotto before it gets into a Pidgeot, it's way better for us. We fail both, but if we had got the heads, we would have brought the Pidgeotto in, benched the Veluza, and then switch. Also play down the Pokegears. If we get Iono, these are not cards we need anymore. Our deck is super small already. So we just want to get rid of all these cards so that even after an Iono, as long as we have a Dunsparce on the bench, we have a really good chance of drawing back into the resources that we need next turn. And then we just take the knockout on the Charizard. So realistically here, what we're expecting, he's probably going to get Pidgeot online because he manually went into Pidgeotto, which means he can quick search. So all he needs really in his hand is one of the Pokemon and a rare candy basically. And he should be able to do the rest. He Night Stretches to get the Charizard. But yeah, one rare candy and a way to Pidgeot means he gets the whole board online, or just rare candy into Charizard means that he can attack. And it's again going to take us 2 turns to take down this Charizard. But the thing he doesn't know is that we have the Defiance Band and the Black Belt's practice training in hand. We have the Gravity Mountain on the field. So if he doesn't bump the stadium, we actually have the full setup to be able to one-shot a Charizard, which is unlikely, but we did thin pretty much all of our deck in 2 turns. However, we again get hit by a brutal Iono. And we draw into a bunch of basics. So there's a good chance we miss an attack here. We do not have the water energy we need. But it is looking like he's also going to miss an attack. He goes for the instant charge here. If he'd gone for the stadium discard, it might have been a lot better for him. And for some reason he promotes the Lumineon. I don't really know what he was doing here, but he does go for the instant charge. He's just offered us 2 prizes for free, which is a bit strange. So we can Nest Ball, and we can actually do a kind of cute play here. If we could get the Crabominable out of the active, we could have gone into Veluza and then used TM Evolution to get the Dunsparce. And I don't think we do have another Crab at this point, but we could have done something cute, but we didn't have any way to pivot. We end up just passing turn. Not much we can really do about it. But we're really not worried. Like, he's going to take one prize, we're going to take two. He's going to take one prize, we're going to take two. And that's how the game's going to end, really. He Ionos again. Like, this is... His hand must have been terrible because he's giving us more cards by doing that. We do now have the switch, we do now have the energy, and we do now have the combo again. So the next Charizard is one-shottable again, which is amazing for us. But he's also, this was again a bit of a weird turn because he evolved the Charmeleon before he did the Pidgeot, so now he has no way of actually getting Charizard online this turn. There's probably just going to be another instant charge. I don't think this Charizard was played in a... I don't want to sound mean, but I don't think this Charizard was played very well. I think there was a lot of choices he made throughout the game where he could have made things a lot better for himself. There is an element of he might not have known what our deck was doing. He might never have seen the Kofu cards before. But on the turn where he went for the first Charizard, if he'd gone for Pidgeot that turn, rather than Charizard, we wouldn't have been behind. So our damage boosts wouldn't be working, really. The supporters would have, but the Defiance Band and stuff wouldn't have been live. And... he would have then had the Pidgeot for like 3 turns. By now he'd have been able to keep searching out exactly the cards he needed. So I think that was really where this game went wrong for him. But now we have the Dunsparce sat on the bench. If he goes for any more Iono Disruption, we can just runaway draw. We only have 4 in deck, so the chance of us not drawing the things we need to finish this game are very low. Right, it's the Pidgeot. He does finally get another Charizard here. We can't actually one-shot it now, because we will not be behind anymore. And it's why even though the Defiance Band and the Reversal Energies are really strong cards in this deck, it's why I don't run many of them, because ultimately we are looking for this swing in momentum where we go from being behind and struggling along to, okay, all 4 Kofus are now in the discard, we have our Pokemon available. Now I'm going to start winning the game. And once we've turned that corner, we usually aren't going to be behind again for the rest of the game. So we do want these come from behind tools like the Defiance Band and the Reversal Energy, but we want to find them early, and we have no real way of directly searching for any of them. There are some arguments to going for like Holres's Tenacity. So we could search out the deck, the Artisan, and the Reversal Energy early on. Maybe. But then we would still have to draw it, and it still is... it would still be a turn where we're not really contributing to our main goal of getting rid of the 4 Kofus, because we would have to play a different supporter. So the only way we could discard at that point would be like Ultra Balls. So it would need such a specific hand to actually be good, as opposed to just, let's just draw through the deck as quick as possible. If we get the opportunity to use these tools, we will. Otherwise, we won't. He's finally found everything he needs. He's going to kill this Crabominable here. And yeah, we're 10 damage short of a kill, but it's not a huge deal. If we can find a Gusting card, that would be fantastic, because we could kill the Pidgeot. We do have both of the Dunsparces available, so we will bench everything. We are completely protected. We'll hit the Charizard for 110 and basically say next time we win. There is also a Water Energy still in deck, I believe. So we've guaranteed access to that with the runaway draw. But even if he gusts up the Crabominable with the energy on it, we can just runaway draw, attach to the second one, and then we win. And it's really impressive to me how this deck tends to function towards the end of the game, because we've thinned out so much stuff from our deck. The only supporters we have left at this point are the damage boosts. I believe in this game the only one we have is Black Belt's Training, but ideally we'd have like a Kieran or two left as well. Ideally we'll have a couple of switches, ideally we'll have a couple of Pokemon catchers, and then other than that we've got Dunsparces, Dunsparces and Energies, and that's it. And it puts you in this position late game where it doesn't matter so much if they're going to Iono you, or if they're going to disrupt you in any way, because you've set up the deck in such a way that you're guaranteed to get the things you need anyway. Here's a quick check to make sure I am correct. Like, I think a lot of this stuff while I'm playing, but I don't necessarily talk it out very often. So you'll often see me like looking at the discard pile for a fraction of a second where I'm kind of going, okay, let's make sure I've done this right. Let's make sure there actually is an energy, and there it is. We don't even need to do anything. We do have to runaway draw. Well, we don't have to. We could have used the switch, but we runaway draw anyway. And the last two cards, Artisan and TM Evolution, were things that we didn't need that we put on the bottom of the deck literally about 6 turns ago with that Kofu. So that's pretty cool. So I hope you enjoyed looking at this deck. I'm sorry this one was a bit shorter than normal. It's been a bit difficult to actually get games of this going, and I do normally like to show one where I lose, but I actually haven't been able to get a good game where it went wrong yet. This is actually quite a reliable list for just getting Kofu in the discard. The one game I lost where I didn't manage it was against a Miraidon player who literally had the perfect hand. Like, he played every single card in his hand before he used Squawkabilly, and there was nothing I could really do because he had Iron Hands online turn 1. So there was no possible way of us getting set up before he'd won the game. And then I also lost a game to Ancient Box, but the deck itself didn't really fail. It just was that the Ancient player managed to get the first kill, and then we were just behind for the rest of the game. But we still did get the Kofus gone. We still did get the Crabominables attacking. I don't want to give the impression that this deck is amazing and this is how it will always go. You're going to have games where you just can't get anything going. That kind of just happens with this sort of deck. But when you do manage to get it going, it is quite fun. So I don't know, if you like more Rogue tier decks, try it out. Let me know how it goes. Otherwise, ignore all of this, but it's a fun deck. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.